Henriette, you work for Gehl, which seeks to make cities for people. Your work has taken you around the world and it's sought to address some major challenges: increasing urbanization, health problems, social inequity. And one of the major challenges is climate change. How do we adapt to or mitigate against climate and still retain the concept of place within our environments?
There's some good examples from Copenhagen where we've just concluded work for City of Copenhagen that has been looking at capturing the value add to other disciplines as part of the climate adaptation program. So, for instance, Copenhagen has, unfortunately, a lot of rain, and that's increasing. So we get more and more water, we have to slow the water down before it reaches the sewers, and we have to lead some of it to the harbor. So by doing that, the programs that are installed are looking at how can that also enhance public space around it. So new squares have been created, or new parks where the water features and the whole feature around water coming and going adds experience to people coming there and add a pleasurable space. And also it's linked with cycleways, so more green areas with water coming and going, and how some of those green arteries can also be used for sustainable transport. So it's really about, for City of Copenhagen, it's really about how can we, with the money that we invest, how can that be invested into a number of different agendas that together materialize better results.
And what practical advice would you give to the UK to create environments where we put health at the heart of our places?
What we found is really about linking urban development and health. And I think a number of health professionals around the world have identified that and are starting to slowly creep in on the urban agenda. And so I've seen personally, I'm invited to many more health conferences talking about what the urban environment can do on health. So the different agendas will have to meet up. And also for mobility, for example, to understand that it's not just about transporting people around, it's also about providing a more healthy city and a more sustainable city. So there's the task is much bigger, it's much more complex than it used to be, and it's further fueled by cities growing, more people coming, more people using the city, and the space available being even more important to utilize in a good way.
In the developing world, do you think that they're going on the right trajectory, or do you think that they're going down the wrong trajectory? That's a big question. Obviously, it's big environments, but just...
I think that probably yes and no. So I think definitely in some of the countries where we've been working, there's a depressing repetition of the mistakes of the West, but also a growing awareness around how this is not providing them with the good solutions for the future. So that's really an interesting path on how we can share the knowledge we've got, but also be smart in terms of how we translate it into the local context, and not, forcing it down as this fixed matrix upon everyone, but that we get good at translating solutions to different types of contexts. And that's very much also how we've been using Copenhagen in our work, has been to figure out how can we translate this. So, for example, when we did work in New York, how it looks and feels like New York, and it also works in New York. So that's a big challenge, that we get smart in doing that.